Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. As always, I am your host and game master, Brian Kershaw.
Woohoo!
Phoenix Flattery will get you everywhere.
Woohoo!
And this is our fourth episode. We are just picking up the morning after. Plans have been set into motion to get to the bottom of this mystery. It is a much colder morning today than it was yesterday. When you set off yesterday, there was sunshine. It was a rare spring day that was actually starting to warm up in Seattle. And it's gone. We are back to what local natives would expect for the spring. Gray skies, gloom, and a little just light, drizzling, continuous rain.
Is there in fact a red sky in the morning?
How early does Julian wake up to check?
Not early enough to the... No.
Gray skies, overcast weather, and sort of a light, continual drizzle. In other words, a typical spring Seattle day. The three of you each have gone to bed, perhaps a little too late making plans over drinks at the Brunswick. Quinn, is Caelan going to be working on the ship today?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sophie and Julian had planned to take a trip out to the Salmon Bay Baptist Church to speak to the crewman who was hurt. Harold Carlson, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Quinn, you need to get up very early to work on a fishing boat.
Okay.
It turns out they get going slightly before the crack of dawn.
Okay. How does that work in the past? Like, without alarm clocks?
Well, they had clocks. It would just be like the
It's
local
not like
town
400
clock that
BC.
would ring a bell.
I mean, they have...
Yeah, but I'll be asleep. How am I going to know to wake up?
Yeah,
I'll send
probably hear
Thorn
a
in
bell
after
ringing.
Yeah. Thorn will wake you up.
So,
I mean, for you,
guys
it also depends on where you sleep.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, if it wakes me up, it'll wake them up, and then they're up slightly before dawn, too.
I promise you, Julian is not.
Okay.
Sophie is not at the... I don't know where... Do we know where have we talked about where we're staying?
I guess we
Where
didn't
we
really
all
talk
stay?
about it.
We haven't really mentioned it.
So recalling back to the first episode, I know that Caelan and Julian came across the Mosquito Fleet.
Mhm.
So ostensibly we have a place to crash in Seattle proper. But while we're over here, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I figured like the library is going to have room and board for us. Yeah.
But we don't like to do that because it's spooky.
You can
It
also...
is
You guys
unsettling.
can always stay with Sophie because Sophie has a house in Ballard. So...
Oh, perfect.
It's a little bit like slightly run down, like she's working on it as she goes. But yeah, she has a whole house, so you guys can stay there.
I feel like I've probably brought you some little knickknacks and, like doilies or something from
yes.
Madame Lou's to try to class the joint up a little bit.
Right,
I don't know if
right.
they're actually out.
Yeah. Oh, they probably are.
Okay, cool.
She probably has out every single thing that she's collected since back, which is not a ton of stuff, but she's definitely put everything out.
So I did a little bit of research, and did not hear anything that you all were saying, because I've learned that Caelan is going to need to hire a knocker-upper.
Oh, yes. That's what they used to call waking you up.
Also, Quinn, alarm clocks were invented in 1787.
Okay,
We're
so
100 years into alarm clocks.
do I own one? Should I put it in my...
No, you absolutely don't.
The library definitely
A vagabond with zero wealth.
I think Sophie probably has one.
Yeah, Sophie, can I crash on your couch?
Of course.
And
Always.
borrow your alarm clock?
Of course.
Awesome, I do that.
Sophie, would you mind if I took your bed while you go and join him on the couch?
Julian, do not push your luck.
Okay, we can share.
Some form of sleeping arrangements are figured out. We'll
Mhm.
leave that to fanfic to determine.
Oh no, that's the
God.
worst plan.
And Caelan's able to make it up at the start of the day and head down to the docks. Julian and Sophie are able to have a slightly more leisurely breakfast and take their time before heading over to the church. Caelan, you typically do you have kind of a whistle and a kind of happy-go-lucky step as you're traveling?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you make your way down, and there's a small crowd around the Fiskesøker.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
You see like 8 or 9 of the sailors who you've been seeing around the boat are all kind of clustered around on the dock. What
Okay.
does Caelan do?
He's gonna go up there and try to figure out what's going on.
Okay. You kind of lean in, you push your way past a couple of people, and laying on the dock are 2 other sailors. And they are badly hurt.
Oh no.
They have serious injuries. We're talking about more than just what looks like would have happened in a fight.
So, can you describe their injuries and also tell me if they are being attended to, or are people just like staring at these gravely wounded people?
Well, we're going to get to that and more. The injuries in question are gruesome looking. We're talking about things like cracked open skulls.
Oh,
They're alive, but they're a bloody mess. Broken bones, grievous wounds. To that end, this is actually bad enough that I'm going to have you make a fear check.
oh shit. Okay.
Now, for our listeners at home, a fear check is something that happens in Vaesen when a character encounters something very startling, very disturbing, very scary. They are going to roll one of their stats, either their logic or their empathy, and they need to get a number of successes equal to the fear value. In this case, it's a fear of 1. If Caelan doesn't succeed, he's going to become terrified and immediately respond to this fear.
Okay. This seems like a good time to roll logic. It's the numbers are the same, so just thematically.
Yep.
All right. Oh, right. I have a mental condition, so I rolled only 2 dice and got no successes.
That you did. Now, because it's you, and I have to ask, do you want to push this roll and get more conditions out of it?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So, Caelan is overcome with fear at this sight. Like, this is gruesome. And it is not something that he has had to run into in a long, long time. So, when you become terrified, there are 4 ways your character can react. Thankfully, they conveniently all begin with F. You can flee, you can freeze, you can faint, or you can fight.
Oh,
Now,
I definitely want to faint.
Yep, perfect.
Although, who would I fight? That sounds fun.
You attack the nearest hostile person or creature. You lose the ability to make strategic choices and basically go into like a berserk state. If there are no enemies nearby, you explode in a fit of rage and just start breaking things.
Oh, okay.
That would probably not necessarily make much sense here, but fainting at this site would.
Yeah, I like fainting. Seems very appropriate.
Oh, maybe the captain can rescue you. Or catch you or something?
Yes. He gently nurses me back to consciousness.
I'm writing that down for fic ideas later.
Yep, duly noted. I brought this on myself. I opened the door to fanfic, and now, of course, it cannot be closed.
Yep.
Caelan, you wake up groggy, a little lightheaded. Your head is currently resting on a spool of hemp rope.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say lap.
No, not
I
yet.
know. Or the luxurious woven beard of the manly captain.
Unfortunately, Captain Norland is not the one who helps you awaken. Instead, it is the familiar face of Jan.
The guy who hired us, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, right, because we're doing the Yonicles.
Again, that is not the name of this mystery. It is not the Yonicles. But really good callback. +1 callback points.
Oh, great. I'll
So
sure to spend that on something useful.
Oh, no, definitely. So Jan is like waving his hands in front of your face. Oh no, I weren't. You were also very badly hurt.
Jan? No. I'm sorry. What's going on?
I'm afraid I do not know all the details.
Oh,
It's-
right, the two other sailors.
It seems something very bad happened to them during the night watch.
Oh dear.
The crew is talking about it. They think maybe they were attacked by a ship ghost. And he kind of looks around. They are perhaps
gonna look
looking for someone to blame.
Yes. I see. I look around. Is there anybody who might overhear us?
You kind of steady yourself and you look about. You've been moved onto the actual deck of the ship. Looking around, their crewmen are around, but everyone is at best described as lollygagging at the moment.
Okay.
Nobody is working. The captain is on the dock rather than on the ship, and he and Olaf, who looks very worse for wear, are talking to a couple of stevedores and dockhands.
Okay, so I say to Jan, Jan, don't worry. I think I know just the thing. And I'm going to try and go on over to the captain.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it would be polite to just like walk up and join their conversation. I might stand like off to the side where the captain can see me and like look attentive, like I want to speak to him.
You get the sense that it would definitely be very impolite to kind of break into this conversation.
Okay.
It is something where you can hear just enough that they are basically like talking about what they are going to say when the deputies come by later on. If you want the exact details, you could listen in with a vigilance test.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
I'm
Feel free
going
to make one of those.
Yeah, I'm trying to stand far enough away that they think that they're not being overheard or listened
That
in.
it's discreet.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But yeah, I'm going to try and listen in.
Okay. Roll it.
1 success on 4 dice.
All right. Caelan manages to be a respectful distance away, but just barely is able to pick up everything that's being said. Olaf is absolutely sure these two must have gotten into a drag-out fist fight last night over something stupid, and it somehow went too far, and they both grievously injured each other and fell off the ship rail, and that's how they got so badly hurt hitting the dock. The captain is kind of nodding along to this. He isn't saying a lot, but you just hear occasionally like, it must have happened that way, yes.
And what are the stevedores saying?
They're asking the occasional question, but you get the sense that they're not prying too much.
Okay.
They seem to just want something that they can report back to the deputies and say, here's what happened.
Okay. So it seems like Olaf is creating a narrative that the four of them can stick to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you want to get a sense on where the four of those people are at emotionally with that narrative, you can make an observation check.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. I'll do that.
Do it.
1 success on 3 dice.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So, yeah, get all those hot rolls out of the way early. Listening in, Olaf believes it. While he is coming up with a narrative for what happened, he's also very certain this must be exactly what it was.
Okay.
The stevedores are a little dubious, but they've kind of got a tone of like, well, if that's what they say happened, I guess that's what happened.
Okay.
I don't want to ask too many questions about it.
I gotcha. Okay.
The captain is not buying any of it. He knows there's something else going on here.
Okay.
But he's sort of letting them come up with the explanation.
Okay. I will wait for them to finish and then try and get the captain's attention.
Mhm.
Unless it goes on for super long. I would like to speak to the captain before any... you said the police might come by to ask questions?
You get the sense that the stevedores are going to be the ones who actually talk to the police.
Okay.
For that 1 success, I'll also give you, it seems like at least the way Olaf and the captain are kind of acting right now, they're still planning on sailing today.
Okay. So I will let the conversation go on for a bit longer, and then I'll try and like make it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, their conversation kind of winds down.
Okay.
And Captain Norland and Olaf turn, and the captain kind of nods to you, seeing you standing there.
Okay, so I will approach him and say, good morning to you, Captain. Could I trouble you for a word in private?
Yes, of course. Of course, right this way. Olaf, see to it that the crew gets going. We need to be out on the water soon. The three of you head back up the gangplank. It is pulled aboard the ship. Olaf starts giving sharp-worded commands, and the crew snaps to.
Wait. Sorry, I thought the captain was saying prep to leave later, not we're...
Oh, no. He's planning to leave now.
No. I say quietly to the captain, Caelan, understanding through context what's going on better than Quinn did, says to the captain, Captain, you may want to belay that order until you hear what I have to say.
He looks curiously at you for a moment.
I make a, like, I put my hands up and like, up to you. I'm just saying that you may want to.
Very well. Hold the course for just a moment before we set out. Come, let us speak down in my quarters. And he leads you below deck on the ship and heads towards his cabin.
Cool.
All right, now, before we get to your conversation with Captain Norland, we're going to cut over to Julian and Sophie. The pair of you are getting ready to head out to the Salmon Bay Baptist Church. Are there any preparations you make before heading out that way?
Hey, Sophie.
Yes.
What is it that we're trying to find out today? Like, this guy got hurt, but I think we already have a pretty good idea as to what may have happened.
Yes. Perhaps we can just ask him about the exact circumstances around his accident. I am not we have already found out a lot, but yes, perhaps we can ask him if he saw anything suspicious that might
get that first-hand account.
Coincide with our... Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds like no other preparation needs to be done. You can just head right over. The Salmon Bay Baptist Church is a small building not too far from the waterfront. But its parishioners are hard at work constructing a larger church of stone and stained glass a few miles inland. Completing that project is going to take several years, though. So for now, it's a simple log-style building with a small off-building and steeple. White smoke spills from the chimney flue, and warm lights inside flicker through simple leaded glass windows. You step inside, and the church is a modest affair, with rows of bench seats facing a simple pulpit and a pair of log stoves that burn happily on either side, keeping the room pleasantly warm on this cold, chilly day. Seated in the first pew is a broad-shouldered man. He turns as he hears the door open. His face is covered in a thick, black beard, and his close-cut hair has more than a few traces of gray. He has several old scars across his crooked nose and cheeks, including one going up into his hairline. He slips a faded envelope into a worn Bible he was reading and stands up, resting one of his meaty hands on the back of the pew. He looks over at you and scratches his chin. I don't recognize you lot. But if you're who I think you are, I believe I've been expecting you.
Oh.
The name's Jack. Oh, sorry, after you.
Oh, who is it that you think we are?
Well, he kind of scratches that broken nose. If I don't miss my mark, you're from the library?
You are very astute, my good man.
Is it the spectacles that gave it away? You do look very studious, my friend. Looking over to Sophie.
Well,
kind of
I
chuckles a
will
little.
take that as a compliment.
Oh, you should. It's a good look for you.
Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Jack. Jack Mayhew. Everybody around here calls me Father Bjorn, though. I kind of suspect you're here to see Harold. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yes.
He looks behind you at the open door and then kind of beckons you in. The way he looks, the way he moves, he doesn't seem much like a priest. He seems a lot more like a boxer or like a prize fighter. Come on in. Close the door.
Sure thing.
So, I know a little bit about the group you work with. I'm not exactly affiliated, but I assist them as I can. I've got a touch of the sight myself. Unless I miss my guess. Oh, sorry?
Sorry. I would like to offer my condolences. But
Condolences?
please continue.
What-
Having the sight is a double-edged sword, but please continue.
That it is. But I like to think that it helps in a way.
Yes.
Or at least it can let people help. Well, I had a hunch that you might be by. Something about Harold's story doesn't line up right.
What's he told you so far?
Well, the way he said it, his arm got broken from being clumsy. He was doing nothing out of the ordinary on a night watch on a boat, and he fell down and broke it.
Deck of a fishing boat's a dangerous place. All sorts of hazards you could trip over. What makes you think that's not the truth?
The nervous look in his eyes when I tried to talk to him about it. There's something. I suspect it might be something related to the Vaesen. He's not willing to open up to me about it, though. But maybe someone who he believes has some different experiences he might be willing to talk to.
We would be happy to speak to him and try to understand his story if he will talk to us. Right, Julian?
And by different experiences, are you suggesting that if we were to speak to him of our experiences in these matters, that would be helpful? Or
I
is
think
that
it
going
might.
to scare him away?
I think it might. I think something put a terrible fear into that boy. I don't exactly know what. Something about it makes him not want to tell.
Well, Sophie, we can go introduce ourselves to Harold.
Yes, perhaps we can put him at his
I'm
ease. And
thinking it might be the best approach to simply ask him what he saw, and was it Tumble Tom or the albatross that did this to you?
yes, I think I agree. At least then he will know that we will believe his story and not think that he is lying or crazed or something like that.
And Father, do you prefer Father or Jack?
Given the option, Jack.
Jack. I don't suppose you happen to know anything or happen to have in your congregation anybody from the Locksjaeger, do you, by any chance?
No, can't say I do. I'm not familiar with the name of that ship. Is that one sailing right now?
No, it sank. Probably a couple of years ago at this point, if I recall. Just wanted to see if you might have known anything about it. It may be tangentially related. That's a big word from Julian, but he's going to use it.
I'm afraid that I haven't been here for that many years. I've only just gotten here a few months back.
How are you finding Ballard outside of this most recent incident here?
It's a nice town. I like these people. I feel like I can do some good here.
There is much good to be done.
Indeed, and should you ever find yourself across the water over at Seattle proper, stop by Madame Lou's and tell her Julian sent you. We'll take care of you.
He gives you kind of a sideways grin at that.
I appreciate your help, Father.
Don't know
Jack.
that my type is necessarily welcome at Madame Lou's sporting house, but I appreciate the offer.
Oh, all types are welcome. The question is if his types wants to go.
If there's anything I could do to help you lot on your investigation, please let me know. And he reaches out a hand to you.
I take it, and it's a bit of a limp fish. It's not so much the limp fish, so much as I'm kind of holding it out, almost expecting him to take mine and kiss it. But that's kind of the move there. But yeah. No,
whereas he goes in for like the
hand.
big meaty handshake.
Oh yeah.
So it sort of works at cross purposes for a second there, and you both walk away a little bit confused. Like no one quite got what they were looking for there.
Sophie shakes her head because she has told Julian before that like that's not the flex you think it is. But she's just like, okay. And
simply
only needs to work once.
She'll shake his hand as well and like give him like a really good handshake. So
yeah, and I don't necessarily mean I am holding out my hand expecting him to kiss it, but it is the very, very dainty handshake.
The mannerism
that kind of comes
Julian
across
move.
that way. Yeah. Oh, it's totally the Julian move.
He seems much more comfortable with Sophie.
There.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know.
Just point us to Harold's room if you don't mind.
And he mentions that Harold is out in the wood shop out back. They've been putting him to work doing a little bit of kind of sweeping and general cleaning while he's staying there.
All right. Shall we, Miss Sophie?
Let us go on and see what we can find out.
All right, so you head out back, out in the small wood shop behind the church, which is really little more than a shack right now for keeping the wood dry, as they're both using it for heat and also continuing to build. You see a man in about his 30s or 40s. He's got patchy blonde peach fuzz across his cheeks and pretty short cropped hair. His arm is in a very large plaster cast, which he's kind of holding it out at a weird angle. And he's got a broom in the other hand and is sweeping some wood shavings out. Oh, hello there.
Ah, you must be Harold.
That I am. How can I help you today?
It's nice to meet you, Harold. I'm Julian. This is Sophie.
Hello, Harold.
I would shake your hand, but a cast makes it a little hard.
Understood.
Yeah, I have started extending my hand, and then I use it to brush back my hair, because I clearly was not. It's fine.
Almost did like the too slow.
Almost. Yes, thanks for speaking with us here. I just wanted to ask you, Harold. We heard from your captain, Captain Jacob, that you were here, wanted to check on you, and I just wanted to find out. So, was it Tumble Tom, or was it the albatross that did this to you?
He has a mix of emotions that go across his face.
I smile broadly.
That seem to go between confusion and suspicion and some discomfort, and then land on something between confusion and a little bit of embarrassment. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't trip over any cats.
Oh, so it was the albatross then?
Just was on night watch, wasn't paying attention, and the boom came down and crack.
You seem a very capable seaman, Harold.
Thank you, children.
I said it.
You're all 5.
Sailor. You seem a very capable sailor, Harold. It doesn't seem likely that you would merely trip doing your normal job.
Can I get a manipulation test from Sophie?
Oh, shit.
I will attempt to help you with that. I think that's going to get you 1 extra die.
That is correct. We may have goofed that on a previous episode. So for each character helping, you get +1.
Okay.
And does Sophie have any kind of equipment that she'd be able to use for manipulation?
Let's see. Can Yorts help me? No. I have book collection, writing utensils, and liquor.
Have I got great news about which of those could possibly help in this instance?
If you write it down and pass him the note, it's absolutely going to help with the manipulation check.
Shall I offer him a drink from my flask?
Liquor will normally help with inspiration, but in this particular case, you could apply that bonus to manipulation.
Great. Delightful. I will absolutely offer him a drink. Inside is, in my flask, is mead. It's not liquor.
Oh, interesting.
All right, let's see what happens. Hey, look at that. 6 whole dice with no successes.
Just picking up where we left off last week.
Completely incapable of succeeding at anything.
That's not true. She killed it on that learning test. She got 5 successes.
She did get a lot of successes on 1 learning test out of the many, many rolls. 1.
That was like 5 more successes than I rolled the entire... I think that was 5 more than I got the entire night.
Possibly. We were killing it last week. And apparently we're going right at it again. Yeah, let's hear it for failing a lot.
Harold enthusiastically takes the flask, gets a sip in, and then just immediately spits having not
Oh.
expected it to be mead. What kind of liquor is that? I don't even know what that accent was. Where did that come from?
That
He's
is a
Romanian
smooth
suddenly.
earth, you
Baby?
might say. Round. Okay, that's what it reminded me of.
Yep. Fires the missiles.
Oh well, fires and missiles. Yeah.
What was that?
Sir, do you not recognize good Viking mead when you taste it?
I thought it was going to be whiskey.
Well, I apologize for the confusion.
It was so sweet. Ugh.
Now,
I
hey, I don't
will.
carry sweet mead. What's wrong? Actually, Sophie probably carries sweet.
I will kind of put up my hands in a placating gesture, and well, I'm sorry that wasn't quite what you were looking for. I don't have any whiskey on me, but I can offer you some wine. It is, in fact, fine wine.
He seems a little dubious about this and kind of does like a quick check at the church behind you. Like he's like, you didn't take the sacramental wine, did you?
I said fine wine.
Phoenix, make a manipulation test.
Okay.
And feel
Am
free
I
to add
doing
your
this-
fine wine bonus.
Okay. And fine wines. Shoot, I don't have that in front of me. Is that a one or I think that's a? Is that a 2? No, it's a
plus
1.
You can actually click the use right in the character sheet, and you can even take a +1 bonus from Sophie helping.
Okay.
I'm not sure that Sophie helped.
Hey, you hush.
You're not there.
I buttered him up.
Hey, there we go. 1 success on 9 dice.
Yay!
So it takes a little while, but you eventually get him talking. A little wine, a little bit of chatting, and he eventually starts to loosen up a little bit. And then he divulges to you exactly what happened when he was on the night watch. I was by myself around 2 or 3 in the morning. It was quiet and late. You have to have someone on watch just to make sure nothing happens to the boat. But it gets awful dull. You don't need multiple people, so it was just me. I was chewing a bit of snooze and having a light drink. And he looks at Sophie and he looks very embarrassed and his face flushes a little bit. And well, I felt the need to relieve myself. And maybe I was a little bit more drunk than I realized. Because instead of hitting the water like I expected, I accidentally peed all over the deck. And I was going to clean it up before the captain got there. But I swear to you, I heard 2 voices. My hand to God. I swear to you, I heard someone say, "Red sky." And then suddenly the boom came swinging out and hit me in the arm. At least I think it was a boom. I saw something moving fast from up above in the rigging.
That does rather point to the albatross, wouldn't you say, Julian?
Yes. Did it appear to be an avian? A bird?
There is a bird on the boat. He's been there for like a month now.
The thing that you saw up in the rigging, did it appear to be a bird, or can you describe what you saw up in the rigging?
No, that was no bird. It was moving too fast.
Yes.
I don't remember exactly what it looked like. I thought it must be the boom for how hard it hit me. And he looks at his arm in the heavy plaster cast. No bird can do that.
So out of character, I am just remembering that what we learned of Skepthra from your incredible role previously. So they can turn into animal forms, but these, they don't necessarily in their natural form look like that.
Correct.
And
A
we do know that they
Skepsra-
are very strong.
A Skepsra in its true form looks like a little old man. Think
Okay.
of them kind of like a gnome.
Oh my goodness.
That's right. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But they
Mhm.
are strong enough that they could throw an ox or pull an anchor out of the sea on their own.
Mm-hmm. So I suppose this is perhaps inconclusive.
Did you see anything else, Harold?
No, that was all. The next thing I knew, I was in horrible, horrible pain. I yelled and screamed. My arm was facing a way it should not face. And then I heard a clatter from below the deck, and the captain came running up. It was one of the only times I can remember that I haven't seen his beard in those braids.
Hmm.
He helped to set the bone, and then he helped get me to the pharmacist, who gave me a lot of drugs. And then I don't remember much for a little while. It was great.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. I mean, other than the whole, we don't.
The
need to
morphine
revisit
part
that.
was great.
Yeah, not that I would know.
Do you have any other questions for Harold?
I don't believe I do anything from you, Sophie.
No, I do think that this does confirm our suspicions, I think, but not it doesn't necessarily tell which of them injured him, but I don't know that that's important.
So it is worth noting you did catch one interesting thing from him. He was certain, his hand to God, that he heard the words red sky.
Right.
Mhm.
I'll leave you to puzzle on that while we cut back to Caelan. Caelan, you've walked down below decks on the ship. The captain heads towards the only door that's down there and unlocks it with a key from his belt.
Okay.
And then offers to let you hop into his cabin with him.
Caelan suddenly gets a little nervous, but squares his shoulders and proceeds.
He shuts the door. It's a very, very small room. There is a small bed that's against one wall, a dresser that is screwed into the bulkhead. There is a small writing table, and you see a little portrait of a woman standing next to the captain on it. There are a couple of small stools in here, and the captain sits down on one of those and gestures to the other for you.
Okay.
You wanted to talk to me, Caelan?
Yes, Captain. Caelan sits and tries to look comfortable despite being very nervous. And Caelan coughs, and he's going to try and show off a little bit, do the whole mystery parlor room scene by himself. And so he's going to casually say, Captain, I can't help but notice you are very beautiful. Your beard, your braids, the braids in your beard, they're very beautiful. And I don't suppose you braid them yourself, do you?
Make an observation test.
Okay. Fail.
Okay.
0 successes on 3 dice.
Marvelous. The captain looks at you quizzically for a moment. What exactly are you asking about?
I'm asking about your beard. Who braids it?
He leans forward a little bit. His face looks very, very serious. He goes a moment or two without saying anything.
Caelan will pipe up after a moment of silence and say, I think I have an idea.
I see. So you know then. He
I know
reaches
something.
a hand into his vest pocket, and he pulls out a plain, unornamented gold ring. And he looks at it and then looks over to you. I believe I know how my beard becomes so beautifully braided every day. It happens whenever I sleep here aboard the Fiskesøker. I believe we are haunted by the ghost of my dead wife, Sigrid.
Oh, buddy.
Each day when I wake up here, my lovely beard is woven into perfect, beautiful braids. And I remember how she would run her fingers through it and tell me I was going to be a fishing captain. I used to think that perhaps I was lucky, but I think something must have gone wrong. Caelan, you've heard what has happened to us, the luck that has befallen us.
Yes, but I've also heard that your luck was quite good for a long while.
I think that Sigrid was watching over the stead, but I worry I have done something to offend her.
Captain, did you spend much time in, sorry, where is he from? Do I know?
You had not asked him about that before.
What do we call it? Do we call it Scandinavia, just like that general area?
At this time, you would probably call it Sweden.
Okay. Captain, did you spend much time in Sweden before coming here?
I did. That was where I met my Sigrid.
And do you know much about the folk beliefs of that area?
I know some things. Sailors are certainly a superstitious group.
Do you know about the Vaesen?
I know folk stories, children's tales.
I believe I have deceived you somewhat, Captain. I am already employed by the library.
I have heard of this library. It is here in Ballard, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we are a group of people dedicated to looking into strange occurrences. And I'm here to tell you that the Vaesen are very real and not children's stories, or not merely children's stories. And I believe that you are not haunted by your wife, but rather, let me ask you something else. Where did Tumble Tom come from, and when?
The sheep's cat?
Yes.
Seems to think about it. I'm not sure. I remember him from some of the early days. I had figured Olaf had brought him on, or one of the crewmen had found a stray duck cat.
Okay. And did your beard get braided every night from the moment you started sleeping here, or did it happen a little bit later? Or did it start happening a little bit later?
He seems to be thinking about it and really trying to remember. My Sigrid had passed away just shortly after I had enough money to buy the boat. And I began finding the braids around the same time.
Caelan thinks about that for a moment, and he says, my suspicion is that Tumble Tom is what is called a skepsra. Do you know of this?
I think I've heard of it. Ship spirits, or ship guardians, or ship gnomes.
Precisely. And I believe that in the early days, that is what brought you your good luck. And if I'm correct, your luck changed For the negative, soon after you lost your mast and replaced it in that storm, correct?
I had not associated the two, but it may be. I know that Olaf and the others have been talking about our new man Jan as though he is a Jonah.
I believe it is the albatross. I believe the albatross is also a Skepsra. Because you see, and Caelan is showboating. He's like acting like he's real smart. He's like, you see, one Skepsra brings good luck, but two Skepsra bring bad luck.
Somewhere Sophie's like, that's what I told you.
Yep. Well, it's good to know you listen to me.
Quinn.
Yep.
Captain Norland seems to be taking this in. You don't know for sure whether he believes you or not, but he at least seems to be considering it.
Okay. I mean, the guy believes in ghosts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, keep in mind, that is not an outrageous belief in the 19th century. Believing in ghosts was super common.
What about believing in, like, ship gnomes?
Surprisingly less.
Okay. Captain, I would... I would not dare to tell you what to do on your own ship. However, if my suspicions are correct, I know of a way that you might convince one of the Skepsra to leave and return to having a very lucky boat. That is a boat with good luck. A ship.
And what is that?
There's actually two ways. The first is to get a Skepsra to accept a gift. And the second is to simply speak to it and convince it to start looking over a different ship.
Quinn.
Yeah.
Can I get a manipulation test from you?
Sure.
You may take a +2 bonus on this.
Sick. 2 successes on 5 dice.
Well, I'm glad someone can roll.
So the captain seems to be trying to take all of this in. And why have I not seen the Skepsra that you describe? I've seen the cat and I've seen the bird, but I haven't seen anything unusual by them.
I believe those are the Skepsra in disguise, for they are able to take the form of animals.
And are you able to see these Skepsra, Caelan?
I am gifted with a sight, and typically able to see Vaesen for what they truly are. However, Skepsra are known for changing their shape for real and not simply disguising their true shape. And so I see them for the shape that they currently have, which is that of a cat and a bird.
He kind of turns that gold ring in his finger.
Skepsra are known to braid hair.
I see. And those people who ran onto the boat, those would also be members of the library?
Correct.
He nods. And how is it that you came to my boat?
I'm so out of character. I am not sure.
Jan hired you.
Yeah, no. I remember Jan hired me. I'm not sure. Like, do we have like confidentiality agreements with the people who hire us, or what?
Nope. I mean, Jan asked you to be cool about it because the crew is very suspicious of him. But if you think it'd be helpful telling the captain, you could tell him.
Okay. So Caelan will say, I will say that someone brought to our attention the sudden turn in your ship's luck. Our client has requested secrecy in this matter.
He drums his fingers on that little desk. Was it Jan by any chance?
Caelan is very nervous around this man and is going to try and keep a poker face, but is going to do a poor job.
Marvelous. If you want to try and lie to him, you can make a manipulation roll.
I would like to do that.
All
Maybe
right.
maybe he will do well.
He will get an observation roll to try and see through it.
1 success on 3 dice.
Okay. Go on.
Caelan tries to do a poker face and is like, I'm afraid I cannot say.
I see. Suppose, Caelan Tegan, that I believe you. What if we put off sailing for today, and this evening, Jan is put on the night watch? Could you and your friends make my boat the way it was?
I cannot say for sure that we will succeed, but I can say for sure that we will try our darndest. And I might say that I suspect your participation in this matter might smooth things over. If I'm correct, one of these Skepsra seems to be fond of you, and I gesture towards his beard.
I do not know if I can be here for that.
Why is that?
I have spent several years believing, perhaps hoping, that that was a way of staying close to my wife, despite her passing. If it is not, I do not know that I wish to know.
There is much we do not know about the Vaesen. The fact... I left this detail out earlier, but Skepsra typically braid the hair of farm girls. Or not Skepsra, but their closely related kin. What were they called?
The Nisa.
The Nisa.
He kind of raises a blonde eyebrow at that.
The Nisa are known to braid the hair of girls that they are fond of. And so I do not want to give you a false impression. But the fact that the Skepsra showed up shortly after your wife's death, that may not be a mere coincidence. For it is somewhat unusual for a Skepsra to be quite so fond of the captain.
I will consider it.
Very well. And I do believe that putting off sailing for today and trying to speak with the Albatross this evening may be the best course of action.
Kind of shivers at that. I do not look forward. I am not a suspicious man or a superstitious man, but even I worry about bothering an albatross on the boat.
I promise you that we will not bother it. We will... our intent, as I said, is either to give it a gift or to convince it to go elsewhere. We do not intend harm to the bird.
He nods at this. I will go talk to the crew. Hey, aren't going to like not sailing again, but for whatever reason, he kind of stands up and stretches. I believe you, Caelan.
Caelan is going to turn suddenly and open the door.
He gives you a single nod and then gestures for you to head out.
No. Caelan is opening the door suddenly, trying to catch Olaf outside in case he was overhearing.
Ah, I see. There was no Olaf on the other side of the door.
Huh. Okay. Then he's going to try and play it off as if it was a decisive act. And he says, "Excellent, Captain. I will go confer with my colleagues and return this evening."
He nods. All right. You have convinced the captain not to set sail today. The crew.
Well done.
Mhm.
Thanks.
The crew are not feeling it, although Jan frankly looks a little relieved. Right up until Captain Norland whispers something to his first mate, and Olaf comes stomping over and loudly informs everyone that Jan is going to be stuck on night watch duty alone. And Jan looks a little crestfallen at this, but you sense that it has somehow diffused the tension with the crew.
Excellent.
Right?
I give Jan a wink and a nod to try and indicate to him that don't
This
worry
is all
about
part
it.
of the plan.
This is part of the plan. And then, well, I don't know why I'm being too secretive. I'm just going to go up to him and say quietly to him, I will be back to help you out this evening.
He seems much relieved at that and then nods enthusiastically.
And then I'm going to take my leave.
You seem to think he has intuited that you're going to be on night watch with him, which I suppose in some ways you are.
Of course.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
All right, so you three are able to meet back up.
Cool. We tell each other everything that happened.
Right.
And Caelan will say, "Red sky. That seems important. Do we have any idea what that might mean?"
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think perhaps another round of research in the library might be in order.
Good idea.
Now, I will warn you, if you head to the library to do more research, the situation may wind up getting worse.
Wait, why?
Basically, you can pretty much guarantee somewhere in the library you'll be able to find the information you're looking for, but it's going to take time.
Well, what time is it? We were going to wait until nighttime, the night watch anyway, yeah?
Mm-hmm. You're not going to have enough time to really get into the stacks.
Okay.
So can I go ahead and, try to make a...
Yeah, can we all make learning checks to
Sure.
just see if anything occurs to us?
I would allow it.
1 success on 2 dice.
So I don't remember. Oh no, there it is. Just kidding. Never mind. Hey, 2 successes on 9 dice.
And Phoenix, did you want to get in on this as well? Hey. So the
Sorry, could not find the unmute there. Yes, and that is 0 successes on 2 dice. I let the smart people do it and just look
that's
pretty
reasonable
next
and
to them.
fair. The 3 of you kind of get talking about it over some coffee, comparing notes, talking through things, looking at what you've heard from Harold, what you've heard from the captain, and you kind of all come to the conclusion when Harold heard Red Sky, that was probably the name of the second Skepsra. One of them is named Tumble Tom, and one of them is named Red Sky.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
And knowing both of their names, you'd be able to call out to them on the ship.
So, do we have any idea of another ship that we could offer to Red Sky?
Not just yet. However, Ballard is cranking out new boats all the time. So finding one would be pretty easy.
Okay, so maybe that's what we spend the evening, afternoon doing.
Yeah, let's see if we can find a ship and a captain, a very personable captain, who we might convince to come hang out with us on another person's ship at night and talk to a bird.
I mean, I don't even know if we need to do that. Like, maybe we can just say, we have, like, we can go and scout out and see which ships have, what is the newest ship that already has a captain that someone's already, and just tell the bird, like, we've already prepared a new ship for you. It's called Blobbity Blob, and it's in this, this dry dock, or this, it's moored here at this place.
So,
and
I agree with you that would be sufficient. However, I think we might be able to get a bonus if we pick a captain who is superstitious and willing to play nice with the new bird. And if it comes along to meet the Skeptra, I don't know, maybe that would help. And also, I really want to listen to Julian try and ask ship captains if they would like good luck for their ship. And
I mean, yeah, I think we can, we can certainly go and kind of talk to people in the shipyards and kind of roll for it and see if we can find somebody like that. I mean, the good news is the albatross is always considered good luck. So no captain would be like, oh, I don't want an albatross on my ship. So, there's that at least.
I'm saying worst case scenario, we don't find somebody and we just pawn off the bird on a random ship. Best case scenario, we meet a really nice, Scandinavian ship captain who would be delighted to have a Skeptra on board.
Right. Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, you seem to have struck up quite the relationship with the captain. Why don't you simply ask him of a fellow trustworthy debonair captain of another vessel?
That's a thought.
So you all know any captain is probably going to be at least a little superstitious, and any of them would be happy to have a ship with a Skeptra on it. Part of the trick, though, is you can't boast about having one. So it would have to be something that's a little bit more discreet.
Okay.
Now that said, just to kind of keep things moving along, you are not necessarily going to be able to find a captain and then talk him into coming aboard another ship in the middle of the night. That would be a little suspicious.
Yeah, definitely. But I wanted to listen to Julian try because I thought it would be funny.
Well, I do want to get to the ending and not have this stretch out to be another episode.
Boring. Okay, fine.
So you spend the afternoon doing some searching and find a likely candidate. There is a ship that is just a couple of weeks out from being ready to set sail, called the Cloud Chaser.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
And the captain of that is, give me 1 second. That is going to be Captain.
Are you looking up the name of one of our Patreon supporters?
Maybe I am.
He's on Fantasy Name Generator is where he is.
Shh, don't reveal all my secrets. Captain Philip Andersson.
Okay. Does he seem like a nice guy?
He does.
Cool. Good enough for me. Oh,
Great.
wait. We should get a gift. What kind of gifts do Skeptra like? I mean, it's an albatross. We could give it a fish. Does that count as a gift?
Well, remember, it's only taking the form of the albatross.
Oh, yeah. True. Yeah, do we know what kind of gifts a Skeptra would like, aside from a new ship?
Typically, with different forms of Nisr, you will try and give them some kind of item of clothing. So like a new hat, new shoes, new socks, a new scarf.
Caelan has given Red Sky a sock!
That is part of where that mythology came from.
I assumed
Okay.
it was.
Can we look for an article of clothing for it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, honey, I
Well,
got this. I
Caelan has
open
like
up the violin case and open up
okay.
from that the hidden compartment that contains all of the costuming. It's a
Yeah.
big violin
I was
case.
about to
Yeah,
say,
Julian has one of those carpet bags like what's her face?
Mary Poppins?
Shit. Yes, like a Mary Poppins carpet bag, except
when
it's
I
violin.
say that it's a violin case, people looking at it outward might consider it to be a cello case, but
But really, it's a costume
it has
trunk.
a violin. It has a violin inside, therefore it is a violin case.
So one issue though, Julian. This is a little tiny old man, not a regular sized like human.
I think that I would definitely have a bright red silk scarf within. That is absolutely on brand for Julian. I will pull that out, and I mean, one size fits all.
Extremely fabulous. Yeah.
I'm not sure that one size scarf fits all. Like, you might wrap up his entire body in it.
Well, that's probably something it would enjoy. I think it's a lovely gift.
Okay, well, it's worth a shot. I was thinking we should stop by a toy maker and see if they have like a if any of their dolls have like particularly fine clothing.
You probably want to stick with human-sized clothing.
Okay.
That is the traditional item.
Oh, really? How do they wear it?
Well, they're not that small. They're not like doll size.
I thought they were doll sized.
No, like a small person.
Oh, okay. So like okay, just like a wizened old man.
Yep.
Who is
think of them.
Not.
Think of them in like D&D terms as like a gnome or a halfling.
Oh yeah, so
like
small,
3.5, 4 feet tall.
Yeah, that seems really small.
But not like a doll.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, fair enough.
All right, so evening comes on. You make your way down to the docks. You see there is a single lantern hanging from a hook aboard the Fiskesøker. And you see Jan nervously pacing back and forth under its light.
I will take out my hurricane lamp and light it simply because I can.
You are very well lit up now.
I take out the shotgun and blast a hole in the hull just because
I don't have it. Julian does.
It's in the violin case.
God damn it.
Caelan doesn't have the shotgun. I knew Brian would try and take that seriously, but I outwitted him by not actually having a shotgun.
Truly, you are a master of deception.
Aha!
All right, so what do the three of you do?
I wave to Jan.
He looks very enthusiastically at the three of you and like wildly waves back.
Permission to come aboard.
Sure. Yeah, I could definitely give that.
Caelan boards the ship.
It is very
Yeah,
extra spooky here at night.
That it is.
The good news is you have what's his name? Tumble. You have Tumble Tom looking out for you, so that's nice.
Do we see either of the suspected Vaesen?
When Sophie says you have Tumble Tom looking out for you, from underneath a couple of stacked crates, you just hear and you see two glowing reflective eyes watching you. And then if you shine the hurricane lantern up, you see the reflective eyes of the albatross staring down.
I say to my comrades, shall we get started right away, or should we wait for something?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and kneel down. Not approaching. I have heard better than to approach Tumble Tom. But I will kneel down and quietly enough so that, in theory, Red Sky is not able to hear this. I will just, kneel down towards Tumble Tom. From what I hear, you've done some outstanding work with this boat and protecting all of those aboard. I'll do what I can to make sure that you are not disturbed in this any longer.
The cat is watching you with what is now definitely intent.
Nicely said.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And yeah, I'll get back up and walk back to my group and kind of jerk my head up towards the mast. I suppose this would be. Is there anything else that we need to
I
consider
don't
here?
believe so. I was going to go ahead and call out to him, but I think you're much more eloquent than I am. So why don't you give it a shot?
I mean, I am that. So yeah, I will set down the hurricane lamp just at my feet and try to kind of wave up towards the albatross. Master Red Sky, my name is Julian. Might we have a moment of your time, please?
And just like that, something on the boat changes. A gust of wind rushes through you. And as soon as it rushes past, there are two shapes that take form. Slipping out from under the boxes and whipping down across the rigging of the ship are two wizened old men. They stand only about 2.5, 3 feet tall. Their features are pinched. Their noses are red and ruddy. One of them, who you suspect to be Red Sky, has a gray flecked beard, which kind of runs in all manner of directions and has a feathery look to it. Tumble Tom has broad whiskers that stick out at every direction. And one of his ears is mostly missing. The two little old men immediately launch into an angry tirade. Jan doesn't seem to hear it.
Oh.
He's looking around for where that sudden wind came from, and is not looking at either Red Sky or Tumble Tom.
Yeah, I'll just kind of try to put my hands up toward them. If we could have,
I'll try to take Jan and sort of guide him to the other end of the ship and kind of keep him occupied while
keep him out of the line of fire.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, but I'll stick around with Julian just in case.
Okay.
Just in case he needs some muscle.
I will insert myself into the line of fire. Yes.
As the two are yelling, you catch words like misdeeds, theft, slander, but you do a little bit of your crowd work and manage to get them at least to be willing to talk one at a time. So, Tumble Tom steps forward. You mark my words. The Fiskesøker is mine by right. I was here since this ship was made. I was here in the trees that form the deck and the hull. I have every right to be here. Then from the other side, Red Sky kind of pipes in. I came with the master of the Fiskesøker of the Laxejäger, which Captain Norland said was the luckiest of his life. The greatest find. That means I have more of a right to be the ship guardian of this ship. Everything you have done falls beneath what I have done. My contribution is the luckiest of the finds. Clearly, I have the greater right to the ship.
Caelan will kind of like catch Julian's eye. Does Julian like have something to say, or Caelan could say something?
Does Caelan want to say something?
I have something that could be said that I think might be useful. We will find out.
If there's something you are wanting to say,
Okay.
Go ahead. I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Caelan, having gotten the go ahead from Julian, will say, "Gentlemen,
They both whirl on you.
hello. You are both very capable. You both seem like very capable Skepsra, and but I do not believe that. The question is, who has the greater right to this ship? For you see, I believe that the ship's captain has a longer running relationship with Tumble Tom here. And I believe that we have a ship that is in great need of a talented Skeptra such as yourself, Red Sky. And I think that a mutually beneficial agreement could be come to.
Can I get an observation check from you?
Sure. 0 successes on 3 dice. Can Julian also
Excellent.
make an observation?
Sure.
Observation, you say?
The knowing things about social situations.
Yep, that tracks. 0 successes on 6 dice. Continuing my
I think
hot
you should take a
streak.
condition
Marvelous.
and push it.
I bet you do.
I'm just saying that
Do you want to push that roll?
we're nearing the end, and you rolling again would be much more likely to succeed than me rolling again.
Sure, I will go with. Let's see. This is going to be a mental condition. So, yeah, just as I am kind of trying to mediate between the two of them, I think I get a little bit too close as I'm trying to take a look here, and realizing that Tumble Tom may in fact bite off one of my fingers, I will become frightened.
Okay.
And I will roll this again before hitting that condition.
Oh my god.
And that is another 0 successes on 6 more dice.
Fantastic.
Great.
All right. Caelan, as soon as the words come out of your mouth that Tumble Tom has a longer standing relationship, it is enough to start setting Red Sky off.
Oh no.
He gets immediately furious and jumps in that you are you are taking Tumble Tom's side in this.
Pardon, I'm so sorry, Master Red Sky. I believe my compatriot here was simply trying to make an observation. However, I mean, here's the thing: who cares who was with them longer? I mean, there is this other boat we know called a Cloud Chaser. Can you believe that appellation, the Cloud Chaser? Majestic name if I've ever heard one.
Very suited to a bird.
If only they had somebody of talent to ensure that they too could reap the immense fortune that I'm sure, I don't know, someone might be able to provide. You wouldn't be interested in a brand new ship designated as the Cloud Chaser, would you?
All right. Phoenix, Julian has caught his interest, but you will need to make an opposed manipulation roll.
Well, it's fine because I am really good at
Can
rolling.
I help?
You can help. Sophie
It's
can
gonna
help.
go great.
And you will need to get
So I will-
more successes than Red Sky did on their secret roll.
All right, so I will add 2 to this. And
If you can think of a way to work your advantage in, you can also use that.
I think I already used
You
it
actually did
last
not.
time. I didn't, because I used the fiddle on that, didn't I?
You actually were using the bonus from the helping roll on that, so you never did use your advantage.
Oh. In that case, I will roll an extra. So I have, at the moment here, 1 success on 8 dice. I will go ahead and, yes.
If you can find a way
thinking
to
the rhythm.
work that rhythm in.
Yeah, thinking to the rhythm of how when I was playing earlier and just kind of letting that inspiration flow into me. And just, as I am kind of talking through this with Red Sky, it's almost building up in the rhythm of a song.
Okay, roll 2 extra dice.
Nope, no additional successes there, but that is... So yeah, on
success.
8 dice, 1 success.
10 dice.
Pardon, on 10 dice, yes, with the
do
extra
you
2.
want to push this and roll 10 more dice to get more successes? I'm corrupting him.
God. The laugh was so evil.
I'm hoping to get Julian to break himself trying to sell the Cloud Chaser to Red Sky.
All right, so let's see. So with the 2 assists plus the advantage, that would be a total of a +4.
Mhm.
And that is 0 successes. Why do I listen to you, Quinn? This has not worked for me at all.
How did you roll one
that is
success on
0
20 dice?
successes on... because that is what I roll in this game.
Yeah,
I think I am up to 2 successes on something like 60 dice, and that is not an exaggeration. That is so one success out of 20 dice after taking my now 3rd condition. So
all right,
wait,
Phoenix.
That's your 3rd mental condition?
So if you get any more, you will become broken.
Right.
Oh, I didn't realize.
We'll deal with what happens with that later. So
it'll be fine.
Julian is selling it. He's doing everything he can, and then he realizes he is standing between
pants are
2
down.
very, very dangerous supernatural creatures.
Mm-hmm.
A blow from one of these has snapped arms, has cracked open heads. You are in a very dangerous place. In almost a blur, Red Sky scuttles down the rigging and is suddenly right in front of you, listening very, very intently. And then slowly, ever so slowly, as you're tapping your feet, you're keeping a rhythm, you're giving him this sales pitch, talking about the Cloud Chaser, this wonderful, wonderful ship. You're telling about Captain Anderson. Notice.
I will also take out the red scarf, and I'm just kind of not saying that this is a gift. I'm just kind of holding it out towards him, kind of making some implications as I'm describing the Cloud Chaser.
You realize, ever so subtly, ever so slowly, his head is bouncing along to the rhythm. He's listening very intently. Cloud Chaser. That might be a boat for me. Captain Anderson seems like a captain who needs a bit of luck. Yeah, this could work.
I mean, only if you know of somebody with the talent to see a ship of that sort to fortune. You don't know who that could be, do you? As I again kind of flick the scarf around, kind of spinning it in my hands towards him.
He stomps a foot on the ground, or pardon me, stomps a foot on the deck, and you notice the boards under it bend. I know just who could be the person to set that ship to rights. I will do it. Yes.
What a brilliant solution. I wish I'd thought of that.
He taps you several times with one long pointed finger on the chest. Not enough to hurt, but again, it feels much harder than it should from a creature of this size.
That's gonna bruise.
A good idea? I
Brilliant flash of insight.
will find the Cloud Chaser.
Oh,
And
indeed.
he spends just 1 second, locking dagger eyes with Tumble Tom. And then, suddenly, Red Sky's gone.
Oh my gosh, was
he was never
one
standing
success really enough?
Just barely. I rolled 0 successes. There's the one time I didn't roll well.
Oh, cool. So I convinced you to almost break yourself for no reason.
For nothing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to point that one out till the tension had ended.
It's fine. It's fine. See, I'm almost broken. It's, I'm at 1 HP, so I am fully ready to go.
Yep.
So that is an important thing to talk about with Vaesen. Until you actually have 3 conditions and get hurt again, you're fine.
Well, but
You are only actually injured when you become broken by an injury.
but you are at
You managed to avoid that today.
but you are at you are less effective.
Yes.
Right,
but
you're
not
getting
hurt.
disease.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right, so with that,
Yeah, I think the three conditions that I take were not, in fact, angry, frightened, and hopeless so much as Caelan, Caelan, and Phelan.
it was Caelan, and hopeless. Let's be fair.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that last one. Yeah.
I would like to help heal a condition using my liquor and my what's it called?
So I'm going to hold off on that one.
Okay.
Because we are actually getting into the aftermath of the mystery.
Okay.
So we can do that stuff off screen.
Okay.
After Red Sky has vanished, Tumble Tom kind of strolls forward, walking like the proud tomcat that he is in his heart. He surveys the Fiskesøker. He brushes up some ropes. He straightens up a couple of crates. And then he turns and he looks at the three of you. 4, counting Jan.
So Caelan would like to say a thing. I like the Fiskesøker better, just for what it's worth.
He makes a huff kind of sound and looks in complete agreement. Like, I obviously got the better end of this deal.
I mean, Cloud Chaser, it's a bit on the nose, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Can I ask you, why is it that you braid the captain's beard?
He seems to ponder this,
It's
and then he does not give you an answer.
okay.
You listen to me now. But there is something ill coming on the wind. Something wicked is coming. And the Vaesen can feel it in our bones. It's like the air for a tempest. There is a madness to it. Knowing the storm is coming, and knowing all you can do is brace for an impact. But not when it will land. You mark me. A change is coming, and you'll be at the storm's eye when it arrives. Be well, if you can. And he vanishes.
Caelan turns to his comrades. Well, the storm's eye, that's the safest place to be, yeah?
Or miles and miles away from it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, you manage to
Palm Springs, anybody?
you manage to peacefully resolve the situation aboard the Fiskesøker.
Cool.
Yay!
Captain Norland remains somewhat suspicious of Caelan's description of supernatural events, but he can't disagree with the fact that his luck seems to be back. In the days and weeks that follow, his ship gets plentiful catches again, good winds, and the crew is pretty happy. Jan decides that this close brush with danger is probably not a good sign about his career as a fisherman, and instead elects to follow some advice that his uncle gave him growing up, that he was always a really good whittler. So he's going to try his hand at cabinet making over in Seattle instead.
Fantastic. Good man.
However, before he goes, he does make absolutely sure that he pays each of you what he was promised. You are able to return successfully to the library, having gotten to the bottom of this mystery, and everything seems to have wrapped up with a happy ending.
I would like to make sure that on the way back, I pick up something yummy for Thorn.
Of course.
I will, actually, no. I always make the cheese that I give to Agda, so I'm not going to buy any. That would be a betrayal of her trust.
Now, I also have an epilogue, but it doesn't take place here in Seattle. Instead, many, many miles away, over mountains and across a vast span of ocean, a crowd gathers on a dock before a mighty ocean liner. Families hug as they say goodbye, and young sons and daughters promise they will write once they've gotten settled into their new lives. They look at the massive steamships leaving their home in Bergen, which will take them first to England and then on to America to begin new lives. Yet all of these people fail to notice how they subtly part and shift. Couples break and embrace a moment sooner than they'd like to, and parents let go of their children just in time to allow a man to pass between them. The crowd, without realizing it, melts around him, clearing a path for him. As he walks, he never even breaks his stride. He stands at least 6 feet tall, dressed in an immaculately pressed black suit. His white hair is neatly clipped and close to his head, and he wears a round bowler cap atop it. He sports a pair of polarized glasses with golden wire frames, the glass lenses tinted a soft grass green. His hands are covered in supple black calfskin gloves, and his steps are punctuated by the staccato thump of his walking cane, which he grips by the golden filigreed head. He strolls casually up the gangplank and slips unnoticed and unaccounted for below the decks of the ship. A few minutes later, as the steam engines lurch to life and the boat begins to pull away from the dock, the gathered crowd fails to notice the dozens of rats which squirm and scramble from their darkened corners and nests, leaping down into the water and swimming for shore. Unlike people, rats know to flee a doomed ship. And we'll get to that in another episode.
Dun dun dun.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I hope this has been a fun session, everybody. With that, we can wrap up. Thank you all. All right, I'm going to hit...
My advice, for a good time, head on over to Seattle.
And I'm going to definitely end on that note. Thank you for listening to this episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. Our theme song is Myths and Legends by Robert Bruckmeyer, which is playing right now. Our music is by Andreas Lundström, and you can hear more of his work on the Sweden Rolls podcast. Link in the show notes. Our editor is Hannah Cheney. If you're enjoying this show, please take 2 minutes to rate and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. I know every podcast says it, but it really does make a difference and helps us continue to grow the show. Finally, remember the motto of the library. Fear gives way to knowledge. Knowledge gives way to wisdom. And wisdom gives way to the truth. Until next time.